Just ask you to sit up reasonably straight so there's a certain level of alertness in the body. I'd like you to be comfortable but alert. And just take a nice deep breath in. And let it all the way out. Once again, take a nice deep breath in, but this time hold it at the top for a moment. And now let it out nice and slowly, releasing any tension you're holding in your face, in your shoulders, in your body. Now allow your breathing to return to normal. And just start by noticing the sensation of the air as you breathe. And now starting to notice your whole body, from the top of your head, the tips of your toes, noticing the obvious sensations, such as the weight of your body in your chair, perhaps your feet on the floor, perhaps your hands wherever they're resting. Now I'm also going to ask you to start to notice the more subtle sensations, such as where you can feel your clothing on your skin. Perhaps you can feel the air on your face. And we're just starting to tune our attention in to notice the obvious sensations, but also to notice the more subtle ones. Now I'm going to ask you to move your attention down towards your legs, towards your feet. And now specifically taking a look at your left leg and your left foot. And just noticing what sensations are immediately obvious to you. Seeing if you can be aware of any sensation in your toes. That's the ball of the foot, the top of your foot, your heel, your ankle. Now moving up your lower leg, noticing your shin. Perhaps you have sensations in the back of your leg, on your calf. Moving up towards your knee. Now perhaps noticing all of the sensations from your knee all the way down to the tips of your toes. Some obvious sensations, but also some subtle sensations. And if you find your mind wandering and perhaps you're thinking about meditation or something from your life, that's all right. Notice that happened, and then very gently see if you can avoid that trap of judging yourself. Just notice that it happened. It happened to you like it happens to everybody. The skill in many ways is simply becoming aware of when it's happened and then returning your attention over and over again back to where you placed it. This time moving to the upper part of your left leg. Perhaps seeing if there are any sensations you feel across the top of your leg. And then any sensations along the bottom part of your leg. Perhaps there's a chair or a cushion. See if you can notice the obvious sensation, but also notice the more subtle ones. Now noticing all of the sensations from your left hip, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Hundreds of little sensations, hopefully not particularly urgent or important, but hundreds of little sensations only happening right now. In the exercise, we're trying to leave everything else alone, let everything fall away, and simply be present to this myriad of sensations in your body, all the way up and down your left leg. Now we're going to move our attention to our right leg, becoming aware of your right foot. Once again, noticing where you can feel the obvious sensations, perhaps from the pressure of the floor or the tightness of your shoe. But also noticing the subtle sensations. Perhaps you can feel your different toes. Or perhaps you're aware of some of them but not others. Noticing perhaps the ball of the foot, your arch, your heel, becoming aware of your ankle, now moving up your lower leg, perhaps noticing the shin, your calf, becoming aware of your knee, and now perhaps noticing all the sensations from your knee all the way down to the tips of your toes. moving your attention to notice the upper part of your right leg. Perhaps noticing the top part. The bottom part. And if you're sitting on a chair or a cushion, there may be a very obvious sensation where you feel the chair or the cushion most strongly. Just notice that, but then notice where you also feel sensations a little bit less firmly. Maybe just at the point where your leg is just touching the chair. And now noticing all of the sensations from your hip all the way down to the tips of your toes. Once again, just choosing to let everything else fall away. Let everything else from your life just go on pause. And allow yourself to be fully absorbed by these hundreds of little sensations in your leg right now. Now moving up the body, perhaps noticing the front of your torso, noticing your belly. Perhaps noticing how it moves as you breathe in and out. Noticing your chest. And if you look closely, you may notice this very subtle sensation of your clothing shifting against your skin ever so slightly as you breathe in and you breathe out. Noticing the left side of your torso. Noticing your back. There's often a place, there's a lot of injuries, a lot of stress and strain. If you have some discomfort, don't try and avoid it, but notice it. But see if you can also notice the other parts of your back as well, perhaps the parts that aren't in discomfort. Perhaps where they just feel a very subtle sensation of your clothing on your skin. Moving up towards the upper back. And noticing your shoulders. Moving over to your left shoulder specifically, and starting to move down your left arm. Being aware of sensation of your arm against your side. Moving down your arm towards your elbow, your forearm, your wrist, your hand. pay attention, you can probably become aware of each of your fingers as well as your thumb, perhaps noticing, starting with the little finger, and then noticing each of the fingers in turn. Again, hopefully nothing urgent or important, but nevertheless, every moment of every day, these parts of your body are just sending you tiny little bits of information, tiny little sensations. That you can pay attention to if you choose to. These sensations in your left hand are only ever going to happen right now. Just paying attention to the subtle sensations of each finger, your palm, your thumb, now perhaps noticing all of the sensations from your shoulder all the way down the tips of your fingers. We're going to move our attention over to the right side, from the right shoulder, moving down your right arm. Towards your elbow. Noticing the sensations in your forearm, your wrist, your hand, and each of the sensations in your fingers. Every second, there are hundreds of these little sensations. Just starting to become aware of them. Noticing all the sensations from your shoulder, the tips of your fingers. Moving our attention to our neck. Now start by noticing the back of the neck. Some of you may be able to feel your hair, or perhaps the collar of your clothing. You're aware of any sensations in the front of your neck. Are you aware of your jaw? Your lips? Your cheeks? Your nose? Perhaps you're aware of a sensation inside your mouth, such as your tongue, the inside of your cheeks. Noticing your eyes, your forehead, your ears perhaps. See if you can just become aware of all of the sensations in your body right now, from the top of your head, tips of your toes, You can notice the sensation again of your breathing. Perhaps you can even notice, some of you may notice the pressure of your heart pumping. Feel your pulse. So many sensations in this moment, and all we're doing is letting everything else go and allowing ourselves to be fully absorbed in this moment with these sensations. And I'd like to invite you to take a nice deep breath in and let it all the way out. And very gently open your eyes, perhaps connect yourself back into the room.